Hi there, welcome to the second episode of our second series of the Golf Fit System. I'm back down at the Arts Group Performance Centre with Oliver Moore. This time we're going to have a look at golf ball striking. Okay, so particularly loading patterns and angle of attack. So Ollie's man tell us all about that.
Okay, so if it's the first time you've heard the word angle of attack, really simply that's how up or down the golf club is coming into the golf ball. So, and one thing I see a lot, Craig, is I'm seeing a lot of information out there, a lot of people kind of getting caught in the fact that they think that they need to do one or the other, where it really is dynamic. It's so individual, this stuff. So what I'm finding is that, you know, if you're swinging a little bit slower, the last thing we want to be doing with an iron is hitting too much down on it. Because if you hit too much down on it, you don't get the optimal launch conditions. You kind of, you know, you're going to create too much spin, and again, you're going to lose yardage there. So general rule, slower you swing, you want to be a little bit more towards the shallow side, as opposed to, say, if you swing a little bit quicker, you can get away with hitting a little bit more down on it because you've got, hitting down gives you a little bit more club face control.
And so this is definitely going to be something that changes throughout your career, because you're going to get faster, say you've done a bit of training, or just as you age, you may get a little bit slower, you may have an injury, you may have to have a reason for certain shots to swing slower as well. Absolutely,
this has got to be adaptable, and then people need a way or a formula then to experiment and try out which works best for them, and it gives them a tool to use as things adapt over time. We get older, we get stronger, we get quicker. It's, you know, we just need to keep this dynamic.
Okay, so how do we find out where we are on the spectrum? How do we find out how steep or how shallow we need to come in?
One word, Craig, that's balance. Okay,
off balance.
Just a little bit of balance here. So what I have is this little balance exercise. This is kind of, I would call this right and left leg only, but we're kind of going to cheat here a little bit. We're going to use the supporting leg as a little bit of stability. So let's go shallow first. If you wanted to see how well, you know, see whether you want to hit a little bit more up on the golf ball. So
just potentially for slower swing speed, yeah?
Potentially, yeah. Again, real suck and see what works. So what we need here is, if you balance most of your weight on your left-hand side, sorry, your right-hand side, you've got it. Yeah. And if you just bring that foot a little bit closer to it, so you don't get too far away, great. Okay. Now this...
So this is just acting as a stabiliser here for me, most of my weight's in this leg.
Absolutely, yeah. So one, this is going to help shallow the golf club out, but also, potentially on a physical standpoint, going to help with this, you know, this right side for creating this loading pattern.
Yeah, we're going to have to really stabilise on this side for this to work. Okay, so I'm going to try and hit the shot. It's a little bit thinny there.
Mm-hmm. So it's really important here that you pay attention to the contact that you're getting and the ball flight you're getting.
Okay, let's try another one.
However, the most important thing here is staying in balance, okay? Focus on the process of staying in balance and just be aware of the outcome or the shot type.
Yeah, so okay. Both of those just a little bit thin.
A little bit thin, a little bit shallow. So let's mix it up, let's do the opposite. So literally flip, reverse the legs around. This, well, you tell me.
Okay, so we'll have a look. So, same thing again, just on my weight on this left side. Try and make the same swing.
So what did you find there, Craig? Do you feel that there's a difference there with the left leg to the right leg?
It's definitely not a spin.
Yeah.
Straight away. Yeah, definitely feel like you're actually making some contact with the ground on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the general rule of thumb here, folks, for a right-handed golfer, balance a little bit more on your left-hand side. That's going to help you get steeper, hit more down on the golf ball. Balance over here on the right, going to be slightly more shallow, going to hit more up on the golf ball. So again, this is dynamic. See what works for you and see if you get a change in that kind of angle of attack and the launch conditions there.
Yeah, and important to say here as well, I wouldn't have an ego about this, we're talking a lot about swing speed, but do what works for you. So obviously balance is a huge factor, I always mentioned it a couple of times, so we'll go and take a look at that in the gym. You need balance just to be able to do this exercise in the first place, obviously as well. Just to have an understanding or an awareness of where your balance is in your golf swing. You really need some good balance awareness in the gym as well, okay? So we're going to take a look at that in the gym now. Okay, so we've got ourselves into the gym here. We're going to take a look at Ollie's balance. Talked a lot about the loading patterns in the day, so if we're going to have some loading right or left leg, we've got to have good balance in both. And for most of you out there, you probably find that one's slightly better than the other. So we're going to start with a test that you can try yourself, and we're going to have Ollie do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to just simply stand on one leg. How good are you doing that? And then we're going to take it a little bit further, and we're going to try and get Ollie to close his eyes. Okay, so Ollie, if you stand your right leg for me, okay, you can do pretty much what you like with the arms, but if you're seeing major moves, any swaying or moving about, then we know it's already quite difficult. If you can do this, Ollie, close your eyes. Okay, so all of a sudden we're starting to see some more movement. Ollie's doing pretty well. So your eyes closed is really going to take away your visual balance. You don't always have golf balls. You're looking at the golf ball, a lot of other things are going on, so we really want to rely on some field balance, which we're always working on here. If you can last about 16 seconds, it's good enough for us. You'll be able to tell pretty quickly if you're okay at this or you really struggle. Oh, that's great. Right, try your left leg just to see if there's any difference. Close your eyes again. Okay, so a little bit worse than that side. You can test this more than once if you like, but don't spend all day in it. If it happens twice in a row, you definitely going to struggle more on that side than you are on the other. Okay. If you struggle more on one side, practice that side more, which is very obvious. Okay. Right. So once we've got that, what we're then going to have a look at is doing some of the moves that we need for golf. So simple balance exercises you can do to improve. If you find you're weaker on the left side, like Ollie did, stand on that left leg. Okay. And what we're going to do is see if Ollie can make some small turns with his eyes open this time. Okay. Just to challenge that balance. So he's got something else to focus on rather than just standing on the leg. And immediately, if he's unstable down that left side, you'll find this quite hard, and it'll limit how much he turns. You really get a feeling for where you should turn from in your golf swing, and not sacrifice the stability in your lower half. Really simple drill here. Okay, once we're past that level, or we're working on that level, we're going to add to it a little bit. We're going to give we need some loading patterns. So we spoke a lot about that. It's not just about balance, we need to be able to load. So this is the tougher part now. We're going to start off with a simple move. But this is something we can then build on, okay? So what we're going to do is get Ollie to do a toe touch with just on one leg, okay? So his aim is to stand on one leg and simply touch his toes, okay? Try that for me, Ollie.
Go left leg?
Yes, please. It seems to be the one we need to work on. Good. Perfect. Can you try that with both hands for me as well?
Okay. Yep.
Great, great. So, again, fairly simple. What all he's doing here is really having to load his hip and hip hinge. In golf, we're in a hip hinge position, okay? Especially in the loading phases like your backswing, okay? Or if you're coming through the shot as well. Both of those, you have to be in a hip hinge position. You can really build on top of this as well. If you can do this, okay, and you have some good range and you have some good control in this range, you can then, you can take this into strength patterns like single leg deadlift and single leg squats, which will definitely enhance your ability to be able to load on one leg. Finally, we're going to look at some sequencing patterns. So we're going to look at something that will allow you to get a sense of loading into the leg and creating some power as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got a medicine ball here. You can use a football as well, anything like that. Just don't use anything too heavy. Partner would work well. A wall can also do the same thing. Okay, so all I'm going to give you this medicine ball. What I'm going to get him to do is I'm going to get him to split his stance. So he's going to try this in both legs, kind of like he did for me in the day. He's just going to take one leg further back, really load up the front leg. And then from there, he's going to practice throwing and releasing the ball to me. Okay? Let's have a look at that and see how it goes. Good. So one more on that right side. Great. Okay. So that's giving us an idea that you can do that going through the swing. Okay? Now, obviously, he has to turn back into it. Let's see if he can do it his left side. This would be, again, for a right-hander, but if you're left-handed, or even if you're right-handed, you should be doing both sides anyway. So you want to make sure that you do this both ways. So all you have to throw to his right as well as his left over both legs. Okay? Okay, so that's great. So we've got Ollie, you can rest now. So we've got Ollie feeling some loading patterns in one leg. If you struggle a little bit with that, again, you'll feel the ball moving, but also you probably feel yourself falling off balance a little bit. So it's going to give you a good awareness of what it's like to push into the ground, receive some force back from the ground as well. And that's what loading is all about. Alright, so thanks for watching. Obviously like and subscribe please, because that's what we want. And yeah, tune in for next week. We're going to do some reverse spine angle stuff next week to have a look at what could be the cause of that and what could be the outcome of that. Okay, see you then.
I don't know what to say.